Now, we talked last week about how this is like a slow recruiting cycle, at least at the high major level. There's been a bunch of mid-major commitments this week, but these five-star guys, it's slower than it's been in past years. But there's one that we think, and correct me if I'm wrong, may be starting to, at least the finish line is starting to be within, somewhat close. Tell me about who that is and where we think this could be headed.
Yeah, Darius Acuff was the first five-star to come off the board in the 2025 class. But Jasper Johnson, by all means, everything that I am hearing right now, it sounds like he is going to be the next to come off the board with a decision that will come before the end of this month. Now, he's down to 5 schools in Arkansas, Louisville, Kentucky, Alabama, and North Carolina. However, this thing has been a 3-man race for the last several weeks. We've talked about it here on the show between Alabama, North Carolina, and Kentucky. And so as we're coming close to this finish line, it is in sight. This has become a 2-man race. There's been a lot of smoke out there on social media, but I would not buy into it. This is a race between Alabama and North Carolina. At this point, I would classify Kentucky, although they are the hometown team, I would classify them as a distant third between Alabama and North Carolina. Now, still tipping my hat to the Crimson Tide as the leaders in this one, but North Carolina is within striking distance, and they could flip this thing around before we get the official announcement.
All right, there you have it. Trav's got, correct me if I'm wrong, got Alabama as the favorite, North Carolina as number 2, Kentucky at number 3, if you were going to handicap this right now.
That is absolutely, that's correct.
All right, great. Now, I want to ask you about one more guy, because last week we broke down all of the incoming international players, not guys who played their high school or grassroots basketball here in the States or in one of the sneaker associations, not anybody who played in the NBA Academy, because we talked about those guys as well, but prospects who were outside of those worlds. And then naturally, as luck would have it, we have another one commit to college basketball next season. What can you tell us about Georgetown's latest pickup?
Yeah, they added Julius Halaifonua. He's a New Zealand big man that has been playing at the NBA Global Academy based in Australia. He is pushing 7 foot, 300 pounds, and he is a very skilled, high IQ big man that can just be used in a variety of ways. A guy they can throw in ball screens, obviously, as the roll man with a little push shot when he's rolling to the basket, can score over either shoulder. Has shown some upside as a floor stretcher, capable of stepping out in pick and pop situations or spot up situations to make shots off the catch from 3. But the thing that I love most about Julius is just the IQ and his passing and vision. A guy that you can throw into the high poster at the top of the key, throw a lot of off-ball action around him and let him just operate as a trigger man and make the decisions with the ball in his hand. Just gives you some different looks with just that versatile skill set. And again, his body, everything is college ready. He may be 290 pounds, but this is a New Zealand 290 pounds. He is all muscle, just has very good feet for the size. So I would imagine he's able to come in, help Georgetown out right away, but really become a very impactful player on down the line. Again, as we talked about last week, just as these international players get settled and adjust to the new pace of the game, especially in a conference as extremely competitive as the Big East.
Trav, let me ask you this, because Ed Cooley also has Thomas Sorber coming into that freshman class. So you're talking about 2 big men who now rank within the top 65 incoming freshmen in the country. Is the expectation for Georgetown fans that we are going to see a platoon type system? That's something that Isaac has written about over on both CBS Sports and 24/7 Sports. Is the expectation that these guys are going to platoon each other, or is there a way that they can complement each other on the play together at the same time? Although I suspect that might be easier offensively than defensively.
Yeah, I would say this is going to be a shared role by committee between these two. Obviously, both are going to have a learning curve being freshmen, one coming from over in Australia. Playing them together, you could play it as a 2 big men lineup, but again, you're going to be shrinking your floor, although you'll be getting a lot of size and physicality down in the post. Sorber, high energy, high motor big man that can score on the block. He blocks shots, rebounds his area. And similarly, Julius would also be a big time rebounder. It'd be very difficult for opponents to get those second chance points and extra possessions throughout the course of a game. But to me, just both of them being freshmen, I would be looking at this as a play by committee.
Yeah, I just don't know which one of those guys guards a 4. And even if you go zone, one of them's got to be able to close out on the wing and try and recover. I think that's tough. So I think you're probably right. It is more of a platoon system. It is worth noting that Georgetown did go big game hunting for a 5-man in the portal. Didn't necessarily get that starting quality big, but a heck of a contingency plan from them to go the international route and strike an NBA Academy product here who we expect to come in and be ready to play. As always, Trav has all the goods from the recruiting trail. As he said, be on the lookout for a Jasper Johnson commitment sometime potentially in the near future. You know where to find him and all of that recruiting news, 247sports.com for wall-to-wall team coverage, recruiting rankings, recruiting updates, transfer portal updates. We've got it all there all the time, 247sports.com. And as always, thank you for watching the show. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week.